Hi everyone, just making a really quick video again. Actually I'm turning early for the night, so this will be a relatively quick one. I'll try to just make some qualifications as to why I'm actually doing this video because quite a few weeks ago, I was talking about the subject of this thing concerning not pre-connective dreams, but basically dreams which had a spiritual aspect, which can either point to the elements of spiritual or psychic hovering by an abusive narcissist, or if not, some form of possible demonic influence from the other realm, which has been empowering the narcissist, or if not, some form of spiritual attack. The spiritual realm is something that I've been talking quite a lot about recently, because I mean, especially after discovering my own faith, and also after living another life that is really quite different from like years ago, when I was a lot more skeptical about certain things, and more, I mean, not even skeptical, but just misled by some things such as the New Age movement and things like that, and tarot. So I just wanted to actually talk a little bit more today about the aspect of how narcissists might actually use your religion or your faith or spirituality against you. Okay, I know that this is actually quite a sensitive topic, especially when all of us have different beliefs, regardless of whatever it is. uh, Most of us don't really exactly always agree, and even among like people such as Christians, there might be a lot of different traditions. Like the case of Protestants, Catholics, or even uh, Eastern Orthodox, yeah, and then they actually don't always necessarily agree about a lot of things, despite the fact that the same God is always, is always Jesus. But I just want to actually just touch base about something concerning this use of spirituality or religion to actually abuse someone. Okay, just pardon, just let me go and look at my notes for a while. Okay, okay. I actually had a pretty short note about this, and okay, religion and spirituality as a means of basically not just terrorizing, but to actually abuse someone is a very common tactic that narcissists are actually very good at using. Okay, and sometimes the narcissist might not even have the same faith or religion as you. Okay, I'll just give you a little bit more about the particular background from my own end about that one particular narcissist, or the experience of not just that, but other things, such as that when I was dealing with my own share of narcissistic abuse about 7 years ago. Yeah, now it's actually about about almost 7 years away from the date of the discard. So I came to realize this, regardless of what a very disbelieving atheist friend said. He said that that narcissists are not actually uh, he said some of them should be just simply agnostic or atheist. No, I actually believe that most of them are probably satanists without their knowing it. And why do I say that? Okay, this is based on something that I posted just today in my social media. Okay, this is actually a post. So let me read it out first. Toxic narcissists do not allow you to practice your faith and spirituality, nor do they want you to grow closer to God. okay, or the divine, despite whatever apparent tolerance they assume in public or even in front of you. Okay, why do I say that? Okay, let me give you an example of in a situation where the toxic narcissist might actually claim to share some similar faith, or as you, but uses it against you. So in this case, for example, they can actually gaslight and humiliate you via your faith, uh, saying that they have a certain blessing or blessings that you do not have. Okay, and why do they do that? They do it in order to make you feel bad about yourself. Okay, so let me give you just one example of what this person that I know, not really that impersonally, but indirectly via a forum, what she said about her husband. She said that her ex or her ex-husband used to say, that he said, oh, I can speak in tongues, okay, and you can't. So I'm actually much better than you. I'm superior to you. And for those who don't know what speaking in tongues is, it's something in the charismatic or Pentecostal denominations of Christianity that believes that when you are anointed or filled with the Holy Spirit, the first sign is actually speaking in another whole new language. Most of it doesn't really sound very intelligible, but okay, according that's what charismatics and Pentecostals believe. So the real problem with such some people who are narcissistic, when they claim that they can do that, um, they might actually use that to gaslight their other half or their partner or their friend or whoever, and say, what, I'm actually better than you because I can do this, you can't. That was what exactly happened to that woman who had a narcissistic partner. Yeah, he used the fact that he could do that as opposed to her to humiliate her, and that was another way of abuse. Yeah, via proxy, via her faith as a Christian. Okay, and the reverse is actually equally true, even in the case of conservative, uh, more conservative denominations, where might have some particular dogma or belief, and you use that. The people who are narcissistic would use belief in that particular dogma or that tenet of faith to gaslight others who do not really subscribe to it wholeheartedly. So, like in example, let's say that that I'm not naming any particular churches or any denomination per se, but in some cases where, let's say, the church might even believe in this idea of Calvinism, the idea that God has already before the beginning of all time elected or chosen you to be saved, as opposed to those who are not and therefore are condemned. They claim that, okay, some of these people will just, the narcissistic ones will just claim that, what, I'm saved, I'm elected, and because you do not subscribe to this, you do not believe in it, you are therefore not saved, and therefore you are, condemned. Okay, the what is it with these people? I mean, when you have a narcissist who actually uses the the issue of you not subscribing to the same beliefs as them, or the same dogma as them, despite the same belief or religion. Okay, the reason why they do that is to actually, obviously, as I said, gaslight you. But the main reason is that they actually do that to assert superiority. So the basis of it, regardless of what whatever denomination, whether it's a Pentecostal charismatic or the more conservative Calvinist, or the main point of using religion is, or the tenets or the practice is, to actually gaslight you and make you feel that you are inferior or you are not good enough, okay, according to them. In some cases, okay, there are certain situations where the narcissist might not actually have the same religion as you. That was what happened with me about 7 years ago. That particular narcissist uh, claimed to be agnostic, wore a chain without any kind of adornment of any particular religious symbol around the neck. But I mean, honestly, I don't believe it. I believe that they worship the devil. So they just don't want to admit it because the considering the things that they do, which are really evil. Hurting people, not just physically, sexually, emotionally, spiritually, everything. So they are very likely not religious. The religious thing is just a facade. Okay, but back to what they do when they, even if they do not actually um, subscribe to the same religion as you, or they don't even have a religion, they might actually still use what you believe in against you. How do they do that? They will claim that you do not adhere to basically obey any particular tenet of your faith, even if it's not true. Or worse still, they will actually misquote um, and manipulate or even misrepresent certain scriptural verses of your tradition to try silencing you. Okay, I think that I've made this video before. I say that a very commonly used quote is like a Bible quote, Bible verse. The verse of "Do not judge" is very much used by narcissistic abusers to actually gaslight people. What is the reason they do that? They take it out of context to say we shouldn't even discern. Okay, but we know that the Greek for this idea of "do not judge" is actually I'm actually away from my Greek Bible, but let me just say that a lot of these times verses are taken out of context to try justifying the need for you to keep silent, the need for you to stop questioning their moral practices and their actions. Okay, so let's say even if they are abusing you, you could simply just point out that you're not supposed to do that and say, oh, do not judge. I shall not suffer a woman to actually speak. Things are always taken out of context when the context is actually very, very different from the context in which they are misquoting it. Okay, so this is actually very much a tendency of the narcissist, even if they do not exactly believe in the same religion as you. Okay, and I think that one thing we need to just note is that if there's anything they can use, they will use it against you, even your religion. Okay, and to them, God is nothing. Okay, God is just someone or some entity that they can use to manipulate others. I probably think that they don't even believe in God. It's just like a figure of speech to them. Although we know that there's more to it, and of course, eventually they'll get punished. But as it is, we can't just simply we exposing them is a bit hard, but we should be able to recognize the red flags, and recognizing the red flags will teach us just to avoid this and to establish our own space. I think all the more that as we even progress and proceed in life, we should be distancing ourselves from people who do not even build us up, and we should be able to recognize the lies from the truth. Yeah, and I think that this is something that we all have to do, regardless of whatever we believe in. So, and as I said, narcissists do not allow you to practice your own spirituality or faith to grow closer to God. They can claim that they are very democratic, that they're okay with that, but it is simply not true. I know it for one. That I remember that like 7 years ago. Being a Christian is not actually a very easy thing from my own end. That when you are facing people who actually constantly criticize your faith, and even expect you to do certain things which are not really logical. Like that I was back in my high school days or middle school days. Yeah, middle school actually. We call it high school here in Singapore. But there was this because I was in actually a Roman Catholic middle school, and that there was one point in my upper, like the senior years. Yeah, when I actually converted to become a Christian. And there was one, the guy sitting next to me. He always kept on telling me, oh, please say your grace, as in prayer of thanks to God over lunch. And every time he wouldn't let me eat properly, he would try to disturb me until I have said it. And it's like, why do I have to actually, localize and verbalize it? It seemed to be really, really quite intentional that he was trying to harass me in some way. And the thing is, I'm not saying that he's narcissistic, but he certainly wasn't really in favor of my being a Christian, and he hated Christianity probably. So for me, I kind of realized this. You can't really call someone who is actually intolerant of your choices, even including your faith, a friend. Let alone like say that they are really cooperative, or even I mean they can't be tolerant to begin with. So, but neither can they be called your how should I say, acquaintance, because they are trying to actually just disrupt the way you live your life. So and I mean, that aside, just going back to what I went through like 7 years ago, I kind of realized that the thing with narcissists, that particular narcissist, was that yeah, that narcissist didn't really like. I mean, they won't say it. They'll just like like pretend that nothing's going on. But the idea of you going to church or being your own, observing your own religion will definitely cause some kind of division. They'll just try their best to stop you from doing that by by doing stuff such as distracting you or getting you to do something on the weekends, and although you are free. And I think that in all honesty, we have to be discerning. Not everyone is really as tolerant as they claim to be. Okay, so anyway, this is what I have for now, in terms of like how narcissists actually come between you and your own spiritual practice. I think that especially over the years, especially coming to a point where I am actually eventually converting to become Eastern Orthodox, leaving behind my evangelical background. This is going to cause a lot of division between me and some of my evangelical friends who think that I'm probably going to be going to hell for doing that. I don't. So far, I haven't had anyone doing that, saying that to me, but I'm pretty sure that one thing's for sure. Okay, if you have anyone who's coming between you and your practice of faith, by trying to apply methods of coercion, manipulation, pressure, and even threatening things, you can just simply let them go, because they were never there in your life as friends or allies to begin with. Okay, so have a good one, everyone, and I'll see y'all again later. Bye bye.